Hello and welcome back to the Wizards Arena, my fellow Planeswalkers. This is going to be our last video in which we review artifacts and lands. We're reviewing on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being essential to standard. This is a standard set review, and after this we will begin doing the review for Commander. First up is the Forsaken Monument, 5 colorless legendary artifact. Gives all your colorless creatures +2/+2 whenever you tap a permanent for colorless mana. Add an additional one. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. Well, pretty simple. In standard, there's only one thing to say about this card. It's junk. It's bad. But overall, in Eternal formats, in stuff like that, like possibly something like Urzatron, much higher markings. So, it's just in standard, it's useless. Don't get me wrong, I think it's good in other formats. It's just not good here. Let's move on to our next card. The Lethal Form Engine. 4 colorless legendary artifact. 2, tap it, copy target activate or trigger ability. You choose new targets for that copy. 3, tap it, copy target instant or sorcery. Sweet. 4, tap it, copy target permanent spell you control. That copy is a token. Well, darn. This is ridiculous. But sadly, what it's ridiculous in is not standard. It's interesting. I can see a few shenanigans being done with it. But in standard, I don't see it totally like breaking the format or anything like that. Is it okay? Not even that. It's worth mentioning. It's better than junk. It's only going to get a 3 though. Sad to say. So let's move on to our next buddy. The Myriad Construct. Now this guy's kind of interesting. He's 4/4/4/4, and if you kick him for 3, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each non-basic land your opponents control. Well, so I guess we're getting a couple more counters on him because there's going to be quite a bit of non-basics being played, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And whenever he becomes a target of a spell, sack it and create a number of 1/1 colorless construct artifact creatures tokens equal to its power. Well, it's not as good as some of the previous ones where they blow up, you get 1/1 tokens, because those flew. These don't. They just chill on the ground. But you got the 5-cost artifact. Doesn't that help? Well, not enough. This is okay. You know, if you don't kick it, it's 4/4/4/4 that if they get targeted by a spell, it blows up. Like, it's the best artifact we've seen for standard, I feel. But still, it's not that good. Like, it's just a 4. Like, you know, maybe it's tied with the doubler, but no, it's not good. Wouldn't play it. Better than some of the trash we've seen. Okay. Now on to the uncommons. And the uncommons are where we've seen the most from. Because sadly, this is about the best. Some of the best stuff is. The Relic Amulet costs you 2, and whenever you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard spell, put a counter on it. Spend 2, remove all counters from it. It deals that much damage to target creature. Okay, so you blast creatures occasionally with this thing. Really cool and like limited. I don't think it will be in Spell Slingers that much. Maybe. It's one of the better uncommons we've seen. Gets about a 5 for an uncommon. Somewhat useful. Not amazing, but worth mentioning. Our next one is the Relic Axe. Now this one is going to make warriors do something if they can do something. It's 2 mana. You cast it, it enters battlefield, and equips to a warrior. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. If it's a warrior, it gets +2/+1. That's why I said it equips to a warrior, because you're probably going to run this in a warrior deck. It's also got a cheap equip of 2, so when the guy dies, picking it up doesn't cost 1 trillion mana. So if the warrior deck's a thing, which I think it will be, it's going to be a 5. Maybe a 6. There's a few things I'm questioning. Depends what the exact curve of the warrior deck is. Because the warrior deck can also, since it will be running red, it's going to be running Ember Cleave probably also. So our next one is the Relic Golem. Now the Relic Golem, only reason he's being mentioned is 2 reasons. 3 mana, 6/6. But he can't attack or block, unless an opponent has 8 cards in their yard. With the rogue deck look like it's going to be a good deck, and mill being a big concept in the format, in this set, I think it might see fringe play. It's, it's one of those cards that a deck can be thrown around. He spends 2 and tap, and he mills your opponent for 2. So he's kind of like a quasi-rogue on his own. And I think that's going to be relevant. So I got a feeling he might show up on the Soot and Rogue builds. So he's going to get a 5. None of these artifacts that aren't color specific or anything super amazing to write home about. But they were pretty solid. Okay, moving on. What do we have? The Sky Cleaver Relic. Oh, yes. So the Skyclave Relic, is 3 for an indestructible mana rock. Kicker of 3. Make 2 copies of it. That are tokens. Okay. Well, we're getting rid of the Chromatic Lantern, which didn't see much play at all. Unfortunately, this I feel is even worse because it doesn't color fix you. So it's going to be 2 because it's a little bit better than 1 because you can kick it and have lots of mana rocks. I don't think it's relevant. I don't think it's going to get used in standard. It's just not happening. Next up we got lands. Lands everywhere. These lands are getting the rating of pretty much simply a 10. The reason I'm going to give him a 10 is you're going to play him in whatever deck you build. It's not like you're going to build a white-blue deck, because I don't think you'll play it because you don't have the white-blue land. Like, you got blue, black, red, green, green, white. So you're missing the red, black, white, blue. You got the white, black. You got the blue, red. You don't have the black, green. You got the red, white, and you don't have green, blue. I do not understand why we got this break in colors. Like, why didn't we get all allies and then all enemies? Or why didn't... It's just so weird to me. Like, if they told me up front, like, we weren't getting any green lands because green is so good at color fixing right now, so we didn't want to give you those, fine. You know, but there's just no rhyme or reason to the color breakdown. So, the reason I want to give them 10 is they're defining standard. They define standard. Like, that's one of my criteria for a 10. Are they going to warp standard? Probably. I mean, you're probably not going to play white-blue that much. You might play triple white-blue-red, because you got the blue-red, you know, you got the white-reds, then you play the Jeskai land, but you probably aren't playing mono-white, white with blue. You might splash blue, but I just don't see... You know, without the other lands, I don't think we're going to see the full gamut of decks you potentially could see. Like, this one enables rogues. This one enables clerics. This one enables warriors. The Hydra deck that copies spells I think could possibly exist doesn't exist because no blue-green land. Like, I'm not going to sound like a broken record. You guys heard me mention it several times. We didn't get the full gambit. I'm just going to move on. Crawling Barrens. It's an interesting variation on the Mischief Factory lands. It's a colorless land. Taps for colorless. Comes into play untapped. Sweet. Spend 4, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. Then it becomes a 0/0 creature until end of turn. It's still land. The nice thing about it is, like, end of one turn you do this. Okay. I didn't have mana. Next time, I had to use all my mana. Time after that, I do it again. Oh, well, I've spent 4 mana now. It's a 4/4. Because they stay on there. So eventually you could build it up bigger and bigger and bigger. I just don't see it being played that much. Like for a man land, it seems really good. Not as broken as some of the ones we've gotten before. But compared to other man lands we've had recently, it's a 6. It's better than them. Not absolutely bonkers like the man lands when we had in Zendikar last, but the really bonker ones aren't coming back, I don't think, ever. I think they've kind of learned from their mistakes. Our next land is the storage land. And it comes into play on tap, so we can use it for mana right away. 1 and put a charge counter on it. Tap, remove 1 charge counter from it to add 2 mana of any one color to cast kick spells. So if you got kicker spells with different colors on them and such, it's pretty cool. But I think in standard, it's not going to be that good. I feel this is more for kickers with different colors, which we don't have any really to speak of. So as a result, this only gets a 3. It's not terrible. I can see you running it in maybe kicker decks, but I think you'd be spending your time doing other things. But it's okay. You know, like, it's better than some of the storage lands they've made in the past by a lot. Like, not coming to play tapped and all that stuff. My name's been Dramo with the Wizards Arena. This has been our 7th and final standard review of Zendikar Rising. The set will be out for Arena on Thursday. And then the following week is going to be pre-release weekend. I will be playing a few decks when the set comes out and put up the videos. I hope to see you in those videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will begin doing the series of Commander review for this set. See you guys all for those videos. Have a great day.